Hello, YouTube. All right, the place is still a mess, and I haven't cleaned it up just because I haven't had time. I've been working a job and coming back here and working on the RV. Just major stuff has happened here, especially in the kitchen, and I thought I would share it with you. I don't know if you can see this little rack I made or modified. I basically salvaged from. Let me show you from the start here. Basically, you know, I use Badia and a lot of, well, not a lot, it's only a few seasoning thingies. And I had it all stored. I had all these seasoning packets and stuff stored up in here. But I've decided I'm going to use this for like plates and other stuff. Although I need to mount certain things and keep things from flying. Because it turns out in an RV, stuff flies everywhere. Like worse than in a van, because it's bigger and you tend to leave things out. Like these knives would fly. So I'm in process of trying to secure everything, make sure that everything has a home, and every home is secured down so stuff doesn't fly everywhere. Like drawers can fly out. I had the knives and stuff in here, but you can see this drawer needs work, so I'm going to rebuild all that later. But for now, or even permanently, I'm going to leave the knives, forks, and other stuff out here in this little cubby thing. That cubby thing is actually part of this. What happened was I was going to build a spice rack because I tried to find one at Goodwill and I couldn't find one. And I didn't feel like buying a brand new one. They're as much as $15 or $20 brand new. I didn't want to spend more than $3 to $5, really $3 side of it. But I went to various Goodwills, could not find it, and was going to build one using scrap wood, the wainscoting or whatever, press board or whatever that's called, as well as my panels. I was going to go ahead and make a small one about this size to be put right over there at that section, like a little rack right here. And figured I would need like L brackets or a lot of glue, like glue gun to put it together, and it would take me a couple hours to work on. But decided with everything else going on and all the other projects that need to be done, it'd be better to try to, you know, if I can pick one up. Well, the other day I went to Goodwill and I saw this spice rack. And this is the spice rack right here for $5. And it had, I threw it away, but it had two drawers. Basically, this is a drawer here, and I've got it mounted backwards. But on the other side is the front door. So the door goes here, and it swings out. Okay, it swings out. But the problem with it is these holes. These little square holes, it turns out they're too small. They're too small for the spices. I think the Badia fits, but nothing else. Like peppers don't fit. The chopped onions don't fit. So I was like, great. And not only that, it was too short. Like the height of it, it wouldn't let the thing shut. I was like, well, I'll just mount it and have it tilted out. But these, like this Parmesan cheese or the Italian seasoning, it wouldn't fit in there. You can see it barely fits without the door in its place. So what I did was I broke the doors off from there. One of the doors crumbled into pieces, but the other one stayed intact, and the intact one I ended up turning into a utensil holder. And I have it out here so it's easy to grab. I think a little bit more stable than this thing that can drop out, this drawer. You can see it's really wobbly here. So I'm going to fix that drawer unit, but I do like the utensils out there so I can see it, grab it, and when I wash it I can just hang it up there. Hopefully water won't soak through, and you know, I try to dry things before I put it up there. So that's kind of a major upgrade, $5. I do have a rack, and I know some of you are saying, well, stuff's still going to fly out. I'm planning on putting a bungee cord across here, and then one across there, and maybe even up here to hold stuff like the soy sauce and the fish sauce. So that's a big deal, okay? As you can see, it'll make it easier to cook. I can just come here and grab my Badia or whatever and put it back. And I do have the rice cooker up here working off electric. I have 120 volt power, which is included in my my lot rental for the RV. So pretty much I have unlimited electricity. Yeah, and I'm taking advantage of it because it'll save on cooking. Although last night I did cook with the Coleman. I did use the butane canister because I didn't feel like going outside in the rain to turn on the liquid propane system, which still worked. All right, sorry about that. The camera ran out of storage space. So anyhow, I decided to use the butane system to cook up some stuff last night, some eggs with rice, and instead of the liquid propane. And saw this microwave here. I've been looking at the microwave, but it doesn't work. The door's like broken, and I popped it open, but the thing still doesn't come on. You can see there's no power to it, so I got to figure out why it's either unplugged or this whole assembly's off, disconnected somehow. So I'm going to be opening that up today to take a look at it and see what's going on. But with the door broken, you really shouldn't operate a microwave with a broken door. So I went ahead and went to Goodwill to buy one. I looked around at the stores to see how much they cost, and the cheapest ones are about $40. And I didn't want to spend $40 on a microwave. So I went by Goodwill, but they didn't have any newer models, although they had this old one. This is a Sharp Carousel 2, and they had it for $8. So I decided to grab it to try it out. You can see it's so old. Instead of black, it has the wood grain on it. And it feels really heavy. Like, I think the newer ones are lighter. You can see I also went by Dollar Tree and picked up some of this Pop Weaver butter popcorn to make some buttered popcorn for snacks and for my kids when they visit. But I did buy some frozen food from the Dollar Tree. This Michelina's Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes, and heated it up in the microwave, and sure enough, it's hot. So that means this microwave does work. What I'm planning on doing is disassembling the hold down thingies that they have here for the microwave, and putting this one up there if it'll fit that hole. And looking for a plug. If there's no plug up there, I'll run it down here underneath, because there is a plug underneath here. So that'll give me the ability to microwave food, which, you know, I normally don't microwave too much, but every once in a while I can microwave like a burrito or some frozen dinner. And speaking of frozen foods, you guys know this refrigerator, this Nordic cold refrigerator. I've been trying to get it to work, and it kept not working. And we went outside to the control panel the other day, well, several weeks ago, this control panel here, and found that it has fuses. Turns out they left some fuses here. But anyhow, I went and bought a bunch of new fuses because I didn't realize the previous owner had left some fuses. But they're actually the wrong size. They're the right size in that they're the 3 amp. But see those little black knobs down there? That black knob right there that says fuse. I know it's blurred here. And this other one that says fuse. Well, it turns out they're not the same. Okay. This one over here is supposed to be 3 amps. And this one here is supposed to be 5 amps. The fuse that they had in there before was a 3 amp fuse, and that's why it blew. I went and I bought a bunch of 3 amp fuses to replace it, and they blew. I blew 2 of them. So I was questioning whether or not the fuses were the right size or if there was a short somewhere. Well, it turns out that the fuse was the wrong size. This one here is a 3 amp fuse. This one's a 5 amp fuse. And how I found out was I've actually found a packet with a bunch of manuals for the RV. So we're like in business now. I'll be able to look up all the various systems, from the water pump to the refrigerator, freezer, and getting everything online and working. So I had a 5 amp fuse that I had bought with another packet, and I stuck it in there this morning before I went to work. And sure enough, when I got home today, you know, put this back here. And I know I need another knob here to get this to lock so it doesn't fly off. This could fly off while you're driving, which would be terrible. So, sure enough, today when I came home and decided to open up my refrigerator and freezer, this pepper fry that I bought the other day, which was pretty much thawed out the other day, I had stuck it in here this morning. it's frozen solid. And here's some water. You can see water has frozen. Water has dripped from here. Although this water hasn't frozen yet. So it's cold enough to freeze. It's just going to take a while. It's been running since this morning. The lower portion is also cold, starting to chill and cold. Not like super cold, but you can feel it. It is chilled. Things are chilled here. So what that means is I have refrigeration. This is a game changer. I mean, I had refrigeration by bringing blocks of ice here and using that, but, you know, that's not the most ideal. And look at all the space. All those water things you see there, it's not just water, it was ice that I had brought to keep the unit cold. So the whole refrigerator was being filled with frozen water. Well, now, because I have access to 120 volts, and the system works off 120 volts when it's plugged into electricity, and I don't get charged any money for the electricity because it's included in the lot rental for the RV, I can run the refrigerator and a freezer. And the significance of that is I can buy stuff in bulk again. So I'm planning on like hitting Thrifty and buying a lot of the meat in bulk and vegetables and fruits and things like that, and storing it in the refrigerator instead of having to head over there every day to buy food and then try to eat it all. And not only that, when I have leftovers, I can freeze it, or I can I can store it and eat it later. So this is a huge deal and should save me quite a bit of money. I had been, since I've been in the RV, I've been mostly eating in, but I've had to run to the store pretty much every day to buy food, and I've been buying stuff like Dollar Tree, basically the same kind of meals you saw me making in the van, because I had to buy it every day. So they were small packets. And I know food from like Dollar Tree, like that Michelinas or whatever thingy here, it's good for $1 and good for like if you're living in a van and stuff, and it can be used and saved for emergency. But reality is, if you have access to a meat market like Thrifty or something, or even Walmart, but I think Thrifty has better prices, it's even cheaper to buy real meat like steaks and pork chops and things like that in bulk, and freeze it so you can use it over the week with several weeks. And also some dishes that I'll be able to make include the red curry, because I can, when I make it, I don't want to make a little because it's kind of expensive and elaborate to make. So I'll make a lot and then freeze it, and I can use it later. So stay tuned, and you're going to see some Cooking with Denoy episodes. Should be a lot of cooking episodes now that we have a working kitchen with a refrigerator, freezer. The stove is working, but I prefer to use electric just because electric's free. So, and once we get that mounted, if we can get it in here and working, I also have a microwave. So everything is falling into place. I appreciate all of you who have been praying for me, all of you who have been watching the videos, letting the the playlist run and the ads and stuff, and interacting with the ads if they pertain to you. Also, special thanks to all the patrons for making this all possible. The fundraiser you guys have generated with the GoFundMe, as well as the patron accounts, are helping me right now to sustain being here at this RV park. It's not enough to cover my full living expenses, but as long as I don't lose my job, I can make it. I am looking to possibly buy a smaller car, because the commute with Little Blue 2 is very expensive, extremely expensive. Gasoline is expensive, and of course Little Blue is kind of old and falling apart. So if I can get a smaller 4-cylinder car to a beater to drive back and forth to work, that would be the most ideal. So thank you all again. God bless you all. Please stay tuned. Hopefully you'll be seeing some more Cooking with Denoy episodes. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Bye-bye now.